Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out RV Daydream, and I think it's about time we actually start making a video series about this van. I've talked about this van a few times. You guys have actually commented on this van a few times, and I have given you sneak peeks of stuff that we've been doing over the last year and a half, I guess it's been. However, it's time for me to start a series specifically about this van.
Have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
Of course, it figures that the day that I actually want to start this, we've got typical Ohio weather. I'm going to be offering some information on this van, some of the things that we're doing to it and how we're going to do it. And in this case, you may see a bunch of different clips from different times of the year. You're going to see me in the middle of the summer, you're going to see me in the winter, you're going to see me 40 pounds lighter, you're going to see me fat like I am now. But we're going to be covering the van's build for my son who wants to be a Nomad. So some of the clips you may get some voiceover, so I can keep the story in a linear motion so it's not bouncing around. But for the most part, we're going to be talking about this van and its overall build so my son can be a van dweller, so he can travel the country like he wants, and this van will provide him with everything he needs. And he's got a good platform, so let's go ahead and give you an introduction to the van. And this is going to be from day one when we first picked it up, so let's jump to that. We've seen a Craigslist ad, and this is us meeting up for the first time to see his van. Alright, so we're going to be heading out and heading towards Promised Land. I got to go pick up my son at the hospital, so we'll pick this up. Hopefully the guy that has the van won't have an issue with me doing any kind of filming. We'll have to see. If not, I'll try to sneak something in. Actually, it looks like it's going to be a nice sunrise today. Alright, we'll pick it up in a little bit. Right, guys, so we're here with Jim and my son, and we're going to take a look at this thing. It's awful clean, but the nice thing about it is it was set up as a camper at one point, so there's a lot of stuff that's in this already that will make it really nice for the future. So we'll take a look here, let you guys see what it looks like. Unlock the doors and come around the other side. It's kind of nice. This is kind of what we were looking for. You can see there's a lot of attention already been done in here, and there was a lot of work that was already done in here as far as insulation and carpeting and stuff like that. The bed's on a steel frame, and it also had some bathroom stuff, and you know, it's got a tray here for a table, but it was laid out pretty nice. You had to pull some of the stuff off. So we'll go ahead and start this thing up and do some looking through it and see what we think. All right, guys, so we're going to take this thing for a test drive. He's going to bring it out here because the drives are real narrow, and then we'll see how this thing does going down the road. So far it looks pretty good. Alright guys, so we've been out in the cold doing our thing, checking out that van, took it for a test drive. Everything sounds real good on it. There was nothing that scared us from it. This is going to be a good deal for him. The van is very solid. There is no rust on the body at all. It's never been worked on as far as body work. I could not find any Bondo or any cracks or anything like that. So we got a good deal as far as the body goes, and the frame looks really good too, obviously. It's in really good shape. So we're going to go ahead. We're at the title place now. They're in there doing the deed, getting the vehicle signed over, and then we're going to have to get it back to the house, and then we'll shoot more video at that point of it whenever we get it back to the house. You can see underneath the propane tank that's hanging down. Now, my son and I are still talking about it, and we're not sure if he wants to maintain that or if he wants to have me remove it. I've got mixed feelings about it because, you know, it'd be nice to have propane in it, but, you know, it's just as easy to have portable propane tanks. But this is being stored outside, so we'll have to see. I mean, there's a ground clearance issue possibly if he starts boondocking and goes, you know, off-road too far. that might be an issue. And as far as the furnace, we talked about it on the way home, and we're not 100% sure if he wants to do that type of a furnace in there, or if he wants to get one of those little buddies. You know, we have a big buddy, which I did a review on that, and tested it out on our camper, so he could just do a little one. Not sure about that yet. So you can see, very clean. I cannot find any body work that's been done on this. Jim said that this thing was stored in climate control pretty much its entire life. Kind of nice. This guy's got a little doodads here. He's got a brake controller. He's got some little can here. I'm not sure what he had in there. And then he's got another can over here. Little ashtray. And of course, cup holders. You know, typical, you know, which direction am I going compass. But this has delay wipers, power windows, power locks. Very nice. Again, the regulators on this need some adjustment. It's got a CB already up in here. Kind of nice. I'll have to mess with that with my son. We'll run some wires, make that look a little neater, and see if that's something he wants to maintain or not. We got a little tear here, but there is insulation behind all this carpet, and Jim did a really good job. When he put this carpet down, he has a foam board underneath, and he also has some thin wood, a thin wood layer and the foam board, and then he has the carpet. So good job, Jim. There's a real nice table over there, which we'll show you here in a minute, but the seats are in excellent condition and they're comfortable. Everything's really clean smelling in here. Very nice. I really like that. And yeah, overall just very, very nice and very clean. So let's close this up. Little window here, just a little slider. Here's another port window that cranks out. Very nice. There's a vent right there, and this vent goes to a hose that goes down into the RV, and it's the stink tube for the toilet. So kind of interesting there. You can see there's a CB antenna, a small one, and then of course that rack. Me and my sons talked about that a couple times. We're not sure about the rack 100% because, you know, solar panels kind of stand up a little bit off of those. So we'll have to see what we can do there. Again, very clean, no real rust to be found at all. Small block 302. And yeah, like I said, I can tell I got to replace a ball joint on there, but easy to do, not a big deal. I've done, oh, I don't know, 16 of them, and I think I've videoed all of them on my channels. It just seems like I'm always doing ball joints. And real nice heavy duty mud flaps on the front. I see the one in the back's missing, but again, not a big deal, not for what we got here. Again, very clean, very nice. Got a pull strap, or it's got the seat belt deal here to help the seat belt get where it needs to be. We'll reinstall that. But very clean seats. This guy had to be a non-smoker. I mean, I don't know, I didn't look at the ashtray. Let me see here. No, there's some ashes in there. I don't know, maybe Jim's a smoker, maybe he used it whenever he was driving. But it hasn't, I mean, you just can't tell. It's just so clean. I don't see any burns or anything here. So before we look at the back, we'll go ahead and just take a peek here on the front. Dash is solid, clean, just really nice. I mean, very, very nice. I'm gonna end up getting this from my son. Not really. I think that it'd be nice to have something like this just to go pal around in. Maybe Heidi and I will do that. Maybe we can see if we can borrow it. Okay, so the table has a latch here that I'll redo this latch. Looks like that it's a pretty decent, but yeah, you can see it's got a little table and it's got a place for drinks or whatever you might want to put in there. Kind of cool, huh? Already built in. That's the best part. We'll have to clean this up a little bit. The strap, the limiting strap, isn't in there. Not a big deal. It should look like this. This is a limiting strap if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. All it does is keep the doors from going all the way back and causing an issue. Here's the windows. Of course, just pop those babies open for a breeze. Of course, on the back, same thing. Very nice, just really nice. And again, I believe that's a fantastic fan. We'll have to check that out. Jim gave me another light that matches that one that goes in here, that mounts a little bit further back. And then of course, there's some bracketry, and those bare spots is where the walls went, where the toilet went, and the little furnace. So we'll take care of that whenever we get a little bit further down the road. Here looks like a makeshift little cup holder or something. Nice, nice. Clean, clean, clean. I love it. So does my son. That's the best part. He was excited about that. I didn't think I was going to get him excited about a van, but he was. Make sure this is latched. Yeah. Nice looking hubcaps there. Everything's, you know, complete. All this back here looks real good. You know, though, I just thought of something. This is an 88, yet it doesn't have a third brake light. I thought that cars in 86 were required to have third brake lights. Maybe vans didn't. It does have a hitch on it with a round connector. If he wanted to tow anything bigger, he'd have to put a 7-pin on there. That would be kind of nice for him. Open up the back here. Pop this baby right here. Find it again. I always have a hard time with that. There we go. Yeah, this is kind of cool. You unzip these little babies here and open the windows, and then you got screens. So the company's called Bug Barrier in Cleveland, Ohio, and they've probably been out of business for who knows how long, but I'll try them out. I'll see if they're still in business. If so, it'd probably be a good idea to get maybe a couple more of these for those two windows over there. Now, the thing that I told my son to do is go ahead and have these windows tinted. Get them limo tinted, and then maybe get some day-night shades. I think that would probably be his best bet. I don't know how much we would have to do as far as you know, going over the engine and everything, just to make sure it's okay. I'm sure that a lot of this, from what I can tell as far as driving it, is okay, but it's hard telling. And it is only one gas tank. I thought originally this was 2 gas tanks that had been removed, but this was a 1 gas tank vehicle. Now, the gas tank that's in there is only 22 gallon, and of course, you know how I feel about that. I think I'm going to see what it's going to cost and how hard it'd be to convert it like my truck and make it a 38 gallon. I mean, that's night and day. But even at, you know, 14 miles to the gallon, let's say this thing only gets 14 miles a gallon, or even 12 miles to the gallon, which I'm sure it'll do better than that. It is a small block. You know, 22 gallons will get you down the road quite a bit. So yeah, that's his van. To what I was talking about, I've taken apart the door panel, and there's a couple of things that I want to point out, more than this being a step-by-step tutorial. If you haven't ever had it replaced before, like in this one, the window motor, you're going to have to drill out these rivets, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. And what you're going to do is replace it with bolts, which that's kind of a pain in the butt to get them back started. You can tape them in place on the regulator to hold them, or you can tack weld them if you want, and just put whatever size bolt you need coming through back the other way for these 4 holes. You're going to peel back this plastic. Don't lose this plastic. Don't destroy it. Try to do everything you can to keep it intact. And then use adhesive, 3M adhesive spray, to spray and put it back on there. Now, if you can't, do something like I did on the other side, which I'll show you now. And that is just find a really heavy plastic, like this drop cloth plastic. And again, 3M adhesive spray, and spray the panel, and then just go ahead and stick the plastic on there and then cut it to shape. Not a big deal. And this is a moisture barrier. This keeps the moisture from attacking these panels. You can see these panels, there's nothing special about them. They're just a real pressed board of some kind. They're kind of like a hard cardboard. They're not quite wood and they're not quite paper, but there's something in between. And you know how that stuff, I just mentioned 2 things, wood and paper, that just sucks up water. Now that I've got the motor off, you can see kind of the overall layout. Let's go ahead and show you what it looks like here. And you kind of want to put it back together the same way, where the regulator's in the same position and that arm is in the same position, all because you're going to be putting it back in with the window in the same position as it currently is, because you have it taped up, or at least in my case I do. Lift straight off, but you got to be careful. There you go. See, there's the metal gear that we're going to actually get rid of. And the plastic gear, which is still in here, is sometimes a little tricky to get out. Sometimes it comes right out. It looks like this one's going to come right out, and it's because of the grease and suction and all that stuff. And there we go. Took a little bit of prying, but finally got it off. And the seal looks very good still. This little O-ring, there's an O-ring around the shaft. And you can see they're original. They're original Fords. This is from March of '87. And of course the Ford number. And the other one, which is identical, that one was from 8 of '88. So yeah, I don't see a reason why I would want to replace a motor that is original and runs really well, because OEM stuff usually does pretty darn good. There's not a lot of upgrades from OEM. I'll cut these off, or maybe my little saw, and I'll cut these off because it's standing too far out and it's going to hit the door panel. The door panel, you can see there's a recess here. For the first time in probably 15 years. It works. So that's how you change motors. We've already started a little bit of work on this, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, and it's nothing fantastic. But my son broke out his toolkit that he never ever uses, and he pulled the bolts out. You can see that there's no bolts now holding the bed in, because there is no bed. He wanted to get rid of the bed because it's a steel frame. It's very heavy. Whoever built it really thought that they were needing that kind of support. And it had 1-inch plywood panels that you could remove so you could access stuff underneath, like the water tank. But the good news is the electric that runs to the back, once I put a fuse in that's underneath the hood, does come back to this little bus box or bus bar or whatever you want to call it. So it's nice that that is active. That's actually correct, and wired correctly. He's got it, you know, marked with a bunch of stuff, and we're not going to be using almost all that stuff. The only thing I want to be able to hook up right now is 12 volt to make sure we have power to go to the water pump, which you can see his water pump that's right there. And also the fantastic fan. Yeah, 1988 fantastic fan that has only been used in this van. This is all old technology from the late 80s. These cup holders, these old smoke detectors and stuff that are wired in here, that old carbon monoxide detector that's wired in here, there's no sense in that stuff anymore. That'll all come out. Those lights, you know, we'll put LEDs in here for them. But right now, we're going to load up. I'm going to take this out just in case somebody gets tempted where he goes to. I doubt it, though. We're going to go to NTB. And at NTB, he's going to purchase himself some really nice tires, just like the ones I have on my truck. It's going to be roughly about $800 for a set of 4 tires, but they're 70,000 mile tires, and I can't think of anything that's better. The other thing we're most likely going to do is remove the onboard propane, because we can't find a need for it. And I'd rather have that weight out of there and give him back some clearance in case he's driving down the road and something happens. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And yeah, like I said, a lot of stuff to come. All right, guys, so we got the new tires on the van. We came back yesterday, and I didn't get any shots at the shop. They got really busy, and we had to actually depart the area because it wasn't going to be ready for a while. But we've got the Michelin Defender LTX MSs on there. If you guys don't know anything about these tires, you want to check them out. And we got an exceptional deal. It's just incredible what kind of deal we got at National Tire and Battery. Then the nice thing about having a van that you'll be traveling throughout the country, one of the nice things that you could do for yourself, I should say, is get a warranty or some sort of road hazard protection for your tires that can be recognized nationwide. Now, National Tire and Battery out west is Big O Tires, and there's a couple of other places, I'm not sure what the other ones are called, but there's a couple of other places that also honor. Plus, of course, Michelin has their own, you know, warranty on how long it lasts, but this is a road hazard warranty. So if he drives over a nail or something like that, or, you know, anything that isn't really anybody's fault, they'll take care of it. But the deal he got on these, I couldn't believe. National Tire and Battery got him all 4 of these tires, of course, installed and balanced. He also has a 1-year unlimited or every 6 months, every 6,000 miles, front end alignment warranty, lifetime balance so that you can always bring them in and get them balanced at any time, the tires. And he also got that road hazard protection for all out the door with tax, everything, tire disposal, the old stuff, under $600. That's an incredible deal for a 70,000 mile tire that made the ride home just really unbelievable. So we got a lot more work to do on this. That's going to be it for the tires. The front end alignment actually couldn't have been performed. We'll just bring it back at another time because I have to put a left outer tie rod end on. Nobody had them locally. Nobody had the parts, and we couldn't do it. So I'll put a tie rod end on this, and then we'll bring it back to the shop and have them do the alignment. But yeah, still, even with that, needing those parts and the alignment, this thing rode unbelievable. So we'll pick this up whenever we get a little bit more into it.